Alright guys, OBF1 Tier 1 race at Miami. Looks like we almost have a full grid tonight. Just gotta get this link over into the chat and then we will be good to go. Miami being a new track to the circuit this year is a little new to everybody. It's going to take some time to get used to. Expect to see some slower laps early, and as time goes and they get more comfortable and the racing line opens up, we should be seeing some good fast racing. Which this track was built earlier this year just for F1 around the Miami Dolphins football, well, NFL football that is for us Americans. Let's see, as these drivers get their setups ready, let's see who comes out first. Let's see if we can get a good hot lap going. If I pull up my app, I can check the current standings of Tier 1. Lil Jim is in the lead with 80 points. DPR Chris 66 in second. FTHKRC 81 57. We got tie for third, sorry, with Mitch as well with 57 points. Alright, we got a few outlaps now. Let's get on here with Liebert. And the Alpha Tauri. There are 3 DRS zones, so it should be some close racing because it's not a lot of room to get out of DRS zones. Once you get stuck in a DRS train, it can be hard. You have to show pure pace on your competitors. As we see Liebert come across the start finish. Through turn 1. And we have a yellow flag in Sector 3 currently. Lap, TV pod. Coming through the chicane. It's a tight chicane. It's very easy to cut, get track limits, or go wide and easily. spin. Got to be very technical through there, and it's a big slowdown spot for a long straight. Looks like we have some traffic out in front. Hopefully we can clear it up so he can get a good into his sector. Ooh. As Liebert comes across the line, he pits. Okay, I guess he didn't like his setup. Well, with park firmly, there's not much you can adjust. Alright. As Marshall comes across the line with a 129.8. It's a good first lap. It's definitely beatable, but not bad. With the first time coming through, looks like we have 7 drivers out on the track right now. A little bit of traffic, not too bad. Trying to figure how to get faster. There we go. Trying to figure out how to get through the... See what kind of action we got here as Freedom comes across. Nope, he's in sector 1. Plains Assassin, Little Jim with a 128.256 with the fastest lap. That's quick. It's going to be hard to beat, but these are some good drivers. We'll see what we can do. Marcus comes in right behind that with a 128.7. Mitch with a 128.4. Let's find Mr. C. Reese. In sector 1, let's see here. TV pod C. We'll get it on board so we can see the full track layout here. You got the long straight with a DRS about midway through it to get some speed. Good overtaking spot. There are really 2 long straights that are going to be the best 2 overtaking spots on the track currently. And then, I mean, if you have pace, there are a few other. The start-finish line's a good place where you can possibly do an overtake if you have a good exit out of the final turn. Here comes the long straight on the back stretch in sector 3 with the DRS. And he got a tight left-hander leading up to the finish line. As Kieran comes across the finish line, we'll see what he sets. A 130.371. But we still have 11 minutes of qualifying, plenty of time to get into the pits, get new tires, and get you a good lap in. Let's see who's next to come across the finish line. Looks like we got Liebert on another lap here in sector 2. And here's the tight chicane I was talking about that is very technical. He takes it beautifully. Comes through the left-hander to the long DRS straight. Looks like it's a good start to sector 3. What will his time be? Lazy but talented set a 128.3 right behind Little Jim. And Liebert with a 127.6 for the fastest lap so far in qualifying. It's a beautiful lap. I do believe Tier 2's fastest qualifying lap was a 128.4. which currently would have been 4th in Tier 2, but with plenty of time for people to set better laps. We got Mitch on another outlap, Marshall on another outlap, Freedom, and then Mr. Reese just starting, perfect time, starting a lap. Currently, we only have 8 drivers that have set times. Yellow flag, sector 1, 2, and 3. Looks like we may have a Alpine turned. No, it wasn't an Alpine, it was a Mercedes. Did not get to see who that was. Mercedes FTH KRC is still around. He's trying to get himself straightened out. But he's ghosted, so we should not have too much of a problem with him there. Flames is on a hot lap right now. We got a few hot laps. Track is full of cars. Way Josh is out now. Webby Josh, sorry, excuse me on that. Okay, we got some new times up. DPR Chris with a 128.6 and Webby Josh round. Caution and turn 4. Get it straightened out. Ooh, disqualified, wrong way. He sat there too long. That's disappointing. Still a buggy game though. I mean, there's a lot of things they could still patch and fix because, I mean, he was waiting for traffic to go by. Did not want to pull out in front of him, even though he was ghosted, and the game DQ'd him. Unfortunately, Webby did not get a time in, so he will be starting 17th. NLD Jansen with a 127.9 currently puts him in 2nd place if qualifying ended now. And Tonus in Sector 3, looks like he just bounced off the wall, could not tell correctly. Let's see his time as he comes across. A 128. Excuse me, 128.5. With almost every driver out and have set a time, besides James and Webby, which Webby will not be able to. Let's see. Short Marcus looks like he is out on a hot lap. Let's ride aboard on him and see. Smooth, carries plenty of speed through there. How does he take it? Oh, back end looks like it slid out a little bit in the chicane. Definitely cost him time. Yes, I don't believe he is actually doing a full lap because he was 10 seconds behind in Sector 2. Outlap. Little Jim coming across the finish line. Is he setting? No, he is not setting a lap. Mitch 3 seconds after Sector 2. Okay, lazy but talented, and we'll ride aboard and see. Does believe he is doing a hot lap. Yes. Traffic gets in his way. Unfortunate. I hope he wasn't on a hot lap because that would not be fun. DPR Chris is back out to Sector 1. Does believe to be doing a hot lap. We have a caution in Sector 2. I just believe it's some slow-moving vehicles, nothing major. And DPR coming up on traffic there almost affects his hot lap because he was up green or through Sector 2. We'll see if that affected his time. Looks like he went a little deep into the final corner there. Yeah, so it must have messed him up. He went ahead and pitted for fresh softs. Looks like we have Freedom here coming in, possibly on a hot lap, yes. .128.7. That put him P10 currently. James is out. Did not see what happened there. Not sure if he had a quality ban possibly, or something happened, I must have missed it. Antonis on his hot lap, moving for traffic. Looks like Lieber is possibly on a hot lap, which we currently, if qualifying ended now, would be on pole. And he does come through with an even faster time by 0.3 faster, comes through with a 127.334. If drivers want to get one more lap in, it'll be about time to exit the pits now. Let's see, yeah, Mitch is coming out for a hot lap, lazy but talented. DPR Chris, Corey, and Short Marcus all out on a out lap. Someone to ride along with. Little Jim. Who's going to come across the finish line next? Lazy but talented. And Flames is around in Sector 1. He is ghosted for the cars coming through. Okay, let's see who's out. So he's letting traffic through. Lazy but talented around in turn 5, I believe it is, backing out for traffic, and that is most likely his qualifying done for the day. Yes, it is. Antonis on the back stretch, trying to time it well so he can be right on the end. Short Marcus is out. We'll ride along with him. He looks furthest into a lap right now. Coming through Sector 2. The chicane, smooth. He's around. He was almost 0.5 up after Sector 2. If he puts in a good sector 3, he will definitely be moving up from P10 currently. And he does improve by 5/10 of 128.231. That moves him from P10 to P6. Okay, looks like Mitch, he would have to have a great third sector to be able to improve his time. Let's see what he comes through as he crosses the finish line. And he does not improve his time. And LD Jansen's up 225 on his current hot lap. Right now he would be starting P5. He comes across the finish line and improves to P2 as it stands, and qualifying is over. Liebert is on pole. Let's see the full lineup. Yes, Liebert is on pole with a 127.334, followed by NLD Jansen, third at Little Jim, fourth DPR Chris, Mitch in fifth, Short Marcus starting sixth, seventh Corey, 8 Lazy But Talented, 9 Flames Assassin, 10 Antonis, Freedom, and 11th Marshall, and 12th El Chacal, and 13th Mr. Reese, 14th FTH KRC, 15th, and James and Webby Josh did not get times and will be rounding out our grid of 17 today. Some fast times by Tier 1. I do believe 12 drivers in Tier 1 qualifying times were better than the pole time in Tier 2. And the entire pack from 1 to 15 that set times were all separated by, I believe, 2 seconds. I didn't get a good look at it when I seen it. But it is a short run down to turn 1, a tight right-hander, and then when you come through the S curves, going side by side through there will be tough. And with the glitchy game, everybody will be starting on cold tires, which is not fun. Alright, we're waiting for the 5 red lights. Everybody getting their final touches to their setup. And here we go. Ooh, we may have had a jump there, I'm not sure. Oh, we have a formation lap, okay. We do have a formation lap in Tier 1. That is good to know. DPR Chris, that helps him. He just joined. Something must have happened with his connection. I know we had a few errors in Tier 2 with mid-game crashes. We hope not to see that. And he has left the session, so hopefully he can get that sorted out before the formation lap is over. This will be good though, to be able to have time to heat up your tires, especially with them starting on no to medium traction control. Having temperature into them tires means everything. And it gives us a ride along with him real quick just to see Sector 3 here. Which was really neat though this year with the game. They added immersive pit stops and immersive formation laps, so you really do get a little bit more control to your start and your pit stop, because if you do execute it well and other people don't, they can, I believe it sets you back almost 2 to 3 meters if you don't set in time or correctly. I know we had a issue with Tier 1, the immersive not working and it going to broadcast mid safety car, which caught a few drivers off guard. But the goal is to not have any errors like that in Tier 1. And like I said, Little Jim disqualifies himself from the immersive stop. It drops his car back a few meters, makes it more difficult. As you can see, Liebert is all the way up on the white lines, and the AlphaTauri is back a few, so it gives him more ground to cover from the start. Okay. Oh, we had a few jumps. Not sure what happened there, but it is not a good start. Everybody races down. It looks like the McLaren on the inside of the AlphaTauri, and we have a bunch up in a couple cars around. Okay, as we separate the pack through Sector 1, NLD Jansen jumps up a few spots. Ooh, DPR Chris down 6. The best. Antonis up 4 from that start. He had a good start. That tight right-hander off the start. Frida must have went around. I had missed that. The McLaren disqualified for backwards driving. Most likely was trying to just get the car turned around, and the game does not give you much leeway on anything of that nature. Currently the pack is pretty tight. The biggest gap right now is 1 second, so everybody managed to get through well. Has the pack separates and cleans up. NLD Jansen still at first, Liebert out ahead. They're going through the chicane, and it looks like single file. Someone's on the inside. It looks like we have a Williams trying to make a move on the inside. The AlphaTauri Little Jim, Liebert in third, is trying to push down the inside. The McLaren box it off down into turn 1. It is really, really hard to go side by side through Sector 1. It's skinny, and Mr. Reese 5 seconds into the pits penalty. Must have took some damage. I'm guessing Mr. Reese and Flames with damage on the lap 1, turn 1 incident. So after one lap, Jansen in first, up 1 position. Little Jim in second, up 1 position. Liebert dropped 2 positions. Oh, he makes a move down the inside. Will it stick? Liebert gets it to stick on Little Jim. That was a good move down the inside, because end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3 is tight. It all depends on the runs on the outside. Low wings can help on the long straights, but the tight, slow corners will hurt you. So it's a balance, a real big balance of setups here. Liebert looks like he pushes it a little too deep into the corner. Little Jim underneath retakes second place. Side by side coming across. Liebert's fighting, and he stays in front coming down to turn 1. DRS is enabled on this lap, and most of the pack is close enough to get DRS. So early on, DRS trains won't cause a lot of movements unless there's errors. Looks like Marshall had the pits early, must have had damage. And we definitely had a few. We see Jansen, Liebert started on mediums, Mitch on mediums, Antonis started on mediums, James on mediums, Webby Josh on mediums. So, and then FTH KRC with the softs. Probably going with the soft hard strategy, which is not bad. Currently, it looks like it's paid off for him because he has gained 7 positions. James is up 9 positions. He's pushing hard right now as well. Some close neck-to-neck racing as it stands. Not a whole lot of movement going on. Let's check the middle of the pack. Since James Liebert sets the fastest lap with a 1:31. Lazy but talented, and the Ferrari is behind FTH. Let's go on board and see, because FTH will not have DR. Oh, and we have a Red Bull around. The Red Bull Short Marcus or DRP. Who was that? I missed it. Antonis around in Sector 1. It can be, oh, he has damage, or them tires are hot. He cannot keep it under control right now. That'll cost him big time. Tire pressures, with the latest 1.08 patch, tire pressures can mean a lot. The high pressures cause a lot of overheating, and once they get hot, the understeer, and it is not. It's like you are trying to drive a car on skates. Go back up front, see where the action is. It looks like Liebert is making a move on Jansen down the inside. Jansen keeps it in there, and he will stay out in front. But DRS, will he try to go for it on the turn? Oh, he cuts in, but he gets underneath of him, and Liebert makes it stick going down. Into turn 1. Okay, top 3 drivers all on mediums. Little Jim on hards, James on mediums as well. So it does look like the mediums have paid off early, but a lot of these drivers on the hards are playing for the long game here. If they don't get a safety car, the mediums will be faster late. They can just hang into the DRS. Their strategy could pay off in the long term. NLD Jansen with the first 3-second time penalty of the race. There's not many places to get time penalties here, but they are possible. And then he gets a second one with a corner cutting. It did not look like he came across that much, but the game is strict. 6 seconds right now currently would put him in 5th position. It looks like NLD and Liebert are going side by side again into turn 1. Liebert underneath on the inside, but that gives the McLaren inside on turn 2. And they make contact, pushes the AlphaTauri off track, and it bumps them. It looks like, oh, the McLaren comes out ahead. The contact did hurt. Luckily, the Liebert was able to hang on and not go around and spin. Contact on this game can hurt. These two leaders are pushing the pace out ahead. Little Jim in 3rd is out of DRS range now. But does look like the McLaren has already burnt up most of his, yes, he's already down to 5% ERS. Let's take a look at Liebert, 13% ERS. Drivers are trying to get the push, try to get out ahead, and hopefully once they get out of DRS range, the ERS won't hurt them as bad. Little Jim caught back up in the chicane section, back in the DRS with ERS plenty, so if he wanted to make a move, he possibly could, but we got Liebert going on the outside again, nothing there. Oh, he does. Sorry, Jansen was going on the outside. These two are battling neck to neck, and while they do it, they are letting the pack catch up. Little Jim, Mitch, with it, both within a second again. Top four drivers all separated by a second and a half. Oh, who goes round? NLD Jansen goes round. I did not see whether there was contact or not. Possibly damage. That puts him all the way to 7th currently, and Liebert is out ahead with Mitch, Little Jim following, and Mitch in 3rd. Intervals between each other. Pack is starting to spread out. James 2 seconds behind Mitch in 3rd. The top 3 drivers are starting to pull away a little bit. A few penalties starting to come across the board. We got an incident in turn 1. It's one of the back drivers, I believe Marshall possibly. It is not affecting the leaders. This is great racing up front by these top drivers. I'm not sure what happened to Jansen, whether there was contact or he just tires getting a little worn. I believe he was on the mediums and they just put him on ice. But so far, no safety cars or virtual safety cars. That's what we like to see. Good, clean racing. Currently, James is up 12 positions, started 16th and 4th. I don't believe he even got a time in on qualifying. Maybe he had a quality ban, I'm not sure. And then FTH KRC up 10 positions as it stands. And he started on these softs. 7 laps in on the softs. He will be looking to pit to the hards pretty soon. Mr. Reese with the second 5-second penalty of the race. That hurts because he would have served the first one as he was coming in. Or did he? Oh, I believe he had just retired. Must have took some damage early. Was not worth staying in the race. Little Jim on the hards is staying in there with the top other 3 on mediums. This will help him in the long run when he ends up going to mediums and they switch to hards. As long as he can stay up, he will be set up pretty if the race stays green. Freedom got an error and was in spectator controlling his car. That must have been why he was DQ'd. Unfortunately, that ended his race early. Never good to hear when the game costs you your race. It does seem that the softs are starting to wear out for FTH. He dropped back 3 seconds behind James, and Lazy But Talented is closing in on him. Possibly going to try to make a move on this backstretch. He will have DRS and use a little bit of ERS to hopefully get a move down the inside. And FTH allows the move down the inside with no congestion. Maybe possibly a strategy move to get DRS. No, he is pitting after lap 8 on the softs, but he was up 9 positions before that. We'll go up back to the leaders, see where Little Jim is. Still in DRS of Liebert, and still has a little bit of battery left to try to close this in if he wants to. Liebert, unfortunately, yes, he's letting his battery build back up currently. We still got about 3 to 4 laps before we see some of the guys on mediums. And FTH went soft medium. So he's going to try to stretch the mediums out 19 laps. Is doable. It's going to be tough late. Hopefully he can kind of earn some positions back, get ahead, get a gap. Because once them tires start getting high percentages, the cars on the hards will be catching. Currently, we've had 10 laps of good, clean racing. We've had a few drivers go around. Lap 1, turn 1 was not the cleanest, a little shaky. Had a couple cars go around, but no safety car. The Ferraris, oh no, one Ferrari's out. That's Alpha Tauri in 4th. Excuse me on that. We have a Ferrari out ahead, then an Alpha Tauri, correct. And then a Mercedes. Nope, sorry, I am struggling here. An Alpine, sorry, an Alpine there in 3rd. Which, don't get me wrong, this is a every man for themselves league, but you do have bragging rights if you can take the constructors as teammates. As we get a good onboard shot of Little Jim coming down the back straight. Liebert has currently stretched his lead out to 1.5 seconds. The mediums are still doing well. Little Jim may be conserving currently. Antonis in the pits coming out on the softs. He spun early in the Red Bull, and I believe that is his first stop. Yes. Currently we've had 4 drivers stop. FTH from the softs to the mediums. NLD Jansen. He went medium hard. I think he took damage when he spun. And Antonis, who was on hards and then went to softs. It's a different strategy, but I don't know if he really has a chance in this race without a safety car. I know there probably are a few drivers in the back that are really wishing for a safety car right now. But as we always want at OBF1 is clean racing. Incidents do happen, and it is not always Mr. Reese with a comment. What a race start, so much for clean racing. Yeah, that first corner was not clean. 4 drivers going in there side by side. it's not going to work like that. Someone's going to get pushed around, and unfortunately, Mr. Reese took damage on that. Liebert currently stretching his lead up to 2.3 seconds now. We'll get a good look at the Alpine chasing down as best as he can. The Alpha Tauri, and then our leader in the Alfa Romeo. The new modeled cars this year for F1 are supposed to, what would be the word, ensure closer racing, a bigger 18-inch tire frame now, a little bit heavier cars, as we've seen certain tracks this year have not paid off with the car weight. They're much heavier this year. James gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, he's currently running 7th. As it stands through 14 laps, in first we have Liebert, second Little Jim, third, oh, Mitch goes into the pits, okay, and Lazy But Talented in the pits gets a 5-second penalty, not what he wants at this time in the race. He was running 5th before that. And on a one-stop strategy, you will not be able to serve your penalty in the pits. It will be added to your final time. Does not make that any better, because you're going to want to have to push, and when you push, mistakes happen. So it looks like all the drivers now that came out on the mediums are pitting. We'll see what Liebert does when he comes back around. We have a yellow, looks like a Ferrari's around. What Ferrari do we have? Lazy But Talented. I don't know if there was an incident there, or if he was coming out of, oh, I believe he was coming out of the pits and there was an incident. This is something that I thought might happen because of the pit lane exit is directly in the racing line, and a high-speed racing line at that. Liebert is into the pits. Currently, no penalties. Should be a clean stop. And that allows Little Jim to take the lead of this race. Corey, who's on the hards, has got all up to second after the pit stops, but he is still have not stopped himself. We'll see where he comes out once everybody cycles through the pits. It looks like James is the only driver to have not pitted yet on the mediums. And we have another incident in Sector 1. It looks like... Let's see if I can find this. Possibly James coming out of the pits had an incident. Cons was right there as well. No, it wasn't coming out of the pits because neither one of them, they're on 5 and 14 lap tires. So, unfortunately, I missed the incident. Oh, and it looks like we do have a car stopped on track. Currently, I cannot find to see who that was, and we have I believe we have a safety car, if not a virtual safety car, because we have caution in 1, 2, and 3. James. It was James who had lost it and wrecked. Oh, caught a McLaren spinning right there, and I believe I caught him resetting to track. NLD Jansen resetting to track. I believe El Chacal would have took him if he didn't do that. Unfortunately, I cannot see if this is a full safety or a virtual safety, but we are having a lot of pits, so I'm guessing possibly full safety car. Let's see what tires we have coming out. Mediums for Corey, Marcus with mediums. Lil Jim comes out on his mediums. Liebert on fresh hards. Mitch Antonius drive-through penalty, speeding under virtual safety car. And I don't believe he had... Okay, we're back green now. Let's see our intervals now that pits have cycled through and the safety car is over. Little Jim, who was stopped, has took over the lead from Liebert, but Liebert is running close behind in second, will have DRS on him. And FTHKRC has left session but is still racing. He was up 10 spots. That is unfortunate. Must be having an incident with the game. NLD Jansen takes another 3-second time penalty in the McLaren. Liebert is gaining on Little Jim a tenth at a time, slowly pushing. We'll ride on board. We have an incident in Sector 1. Antonis went around again. Not much going on for him right now in the race. So Corey takes a 3-second time penalty, who is currently running 4th without them. I think he has multiple time penalties. We will ride on board with Liebert real quick to see if he can make this move on Little Jim. He saved up a little bit of battery. He has 32%. He will have DRS, but Little Jim gets a great jump out of that corner. I don't think he will have enough to get around him. Will he try to make a late dive on the inside? He thinks better of it and stays behind. If he can stay close behind Little Jim, he has 2 more DRS zones. The first of them there, he is not close enough. Little Jim has a fast exit out of the corner. Corey sets the fastest lap with a 1:30 even almost. 5-second penalty for Marshall, who is running 12. We will have a lot of penalties to sort out. And going into this race, these drivers knew too, though, that admins and stewards had noted a lot of incidents recently, and there would be tougher penalties. We were hoping for cleaner driving due to this, but incidents do happen. Everybody's racing hard. Oh, Mitch goes down the inside of Corey to make it. It looks like he did make contact, and then he dove Alpine way too late. He gets real wide, makes Mitch go wide. That was not pretty, but it did allow Corey to stay ahead currently. El Cha is the only driver yet to stop that is still in this race. Strategy has really paid off for FTHKRC though. Up 10 positions, starting on softs, going to mediums. 8 laps in on the mediums though, and with 10 more to go, that will be tough to hang on. It's a tight battle between Mitch and Corey. We still have a tight battle up front for first, as well as Liebert and Little Jim are battling it out. Liebert is staying in the DRS zones, but cannot make the move on Little Jim. Little Jim's pace is just a little too much on the mediums. The top two drivers separated by less than a half second. 3 and 4 are separated by less than a half second, so there are a few battles going on throughout the pack. Khan's YouTube is battling for points, currently in 11th as it stands, but pushing on Lazy But Talented, who is making a move on El Chacal. It does look like he makes it stick, and the Red Bull goes inside of the AlphaTauri as well. Oh, okay. Khan's is ghosted. I don't know if he has control of his car right now, but he is battling for points and is ghosted. Not sure what is going on there. But we'll get back to the front seat because Liebert makes a move on Little Jim. He gets it. And it sticks. So Liebert moves up on the hards in front of Little Jim. Wonder how much battery. Pushed his battery to the limit there. Down to 8% to get around him. Little Jim conserving a little bit more is 25%. I don't know if he's going to push back yet or not. He has DRS, but decides to stay behind and pick his spot when he needs to. Looks like he almost tried to stick his nose down the inside, but thought better of it. Liebert gets a good exit on the corner, but so does Little Jim. Little Jim has DRS. He's trying to get the slipstream. Liebert is doing all he can to not allow it, and it works. Oh, it looks like he locks up a little bit. Little Jim gets into the back of him. Hopefully no wing damage for Little Jim there. It was a minor tap. Ooh. It looks like Mitch may have had something happen. He has fell behind Corey by 3 seconds. Less than a lap ago, they were separated by less than a second, which we have an incident in turn 1. I did not see which driver it was. Let's take a look at the time penalties. So Corey has a 6-second penalty over Mitch, or 6-second penalty with only a 3-second lead over Mitch. So he's going to want to try his best to push to get that gap out if he wants to get a podium. Mitch is probably playing strategy here, knows what he has to stay within. Make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and he could get a podium, but he has to be smart because Marcus is behind him, pushing, only 2 seconds behind. And LD Jansen with a 9-second penalty has that stance. That would drop him into 8th. Lazy but Talented 11 seconds behind, but also has 14-second penalties. And then Marshall in 12th with 5 seconds. Let's go back up to these leaders. They're battling hard. Little Jim is staying right on the tail of Liebert, not letting him get any room to breathe. Pressure can bust pipes, but it can also make diamonds. And Liebert is running his fastest lap through Sector 1, so it does not look like he is gonna bust at the moment. Little Jim comes up tight. He's getting good DRS runs, just runs out of room before he can make the move. Corey currently has the fastest lap. He would get the 1 point at a 1:30.004. Some really fast drivers by the top, really fast laps by the top 3 drivers there. All 3 in the 1:30s. FTH KRC also in the 1:30s. Lazy but Talented in the 1:30s. High 1:30. Liebert takes the inside line. Make sure Little Jim can't make a move. Little Jim on the back of him coming through the S's. Real tight on him. We're going to ride on board and see if he can make the move coming down the back straight. Only 3/10 behind. Does he get a good exit? Does not look like Little Liebert pulls too far ahead of Little Jim. Little Jim needs a little battery. Hits the DRS. Liebert is using every bit of battery he can to defend. He takes the inside to try to make Jim go on the outside, but it gives the Jim the inside. Will they go side by side to the chicane? This will be very tight. That is good, clean driving there. Little Jim concedes, though, because he did not want an incident. That is clean, hard racing there, guys. He knows it is a battle of the long game. Does not want him to have an incident, spin, and cost himself a podium. Even though it is week 4, points are valuable. Liebert on 9. So Liebert on the hards, Little Jim on the mediums. The mediums still have plenty of life, only 8 laps in. Mitch is falling back at Corey. Corey is pushing good. He has 6 seconds. If he spreads that gap out to 6 seconds, he will have himself a podium as it stands. FTH KRC has done very well for himself, up 9 spots into 6th, from out of the points to 10 points. That is a great push. Khan's YouTube is also up 9 currently. Little Jim is doing everything he can to stay on that rear wing of Liebert, and Liebert is doing everything he can to defend. Little Jim sticks his nose in the inside, but thinks better of it. He still has 5 laps. It's all about picking your battles when they're there. Don't force anything. Ooh, Little Jim sticks his nose in there, but it's still not there for him. Looks like Short Marcus is pushing up to the back of Mitch. Mitch is dropping back. 11 lapped them tires. They might be going on him. He's slowly losing time to Corey, and Marcus is pushing. But currently, those are the only main 2 battles. Short Marcus on Mitch and Little Jim pushing on Liebert. As far as everything else is, it's pretty spread out. Short Marcus goes to the outside. Mitch on the inside, coming down to the turn. Side-by-side racing. If he gets his stick, he'll get the inside here, and he does. And Mitch concedes the position. Marcus is through. With Marcus's pace, I don't think Mitch really has the pace right now on the old tires to make a move back. He does have DRS here, but it's not enough. It may be he is pushing, he goes to the outside. Marcus in the Williams. Side by side. Oh no, Mitch does get it back. Little Jim is within 2 to 3 tenths of Liebert. We'll go back to the battle up front with 3 laps to go. Let's ride on board and see it from his perspective. Not much battery left, 11%. You see the red light flashing on Liebert, meaning he's under 10% as well. This may be up just to pure pace and possibly DRS because battery, not much life there. Let's see how Penalous will play out with Short Marcus and Mitch side by side again. Going through the chicane. Marcus is back out ahead. Let's ride and see if Mitch can make another move on him. He does get a good run out of the corner. Has 11%. Will he use that 11% or will he just try to use DRS? And DRS was enough to get him back around. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Let's see if we can see what happened from Marcus's end. Not quite sure if he turned in too early, made contact, but both drivers were able to control it. In LD Jansen with another time penalty. That's 12 seconds. Currently, as that stands, in LD Jansen is out of the points and El Shakal is in. Little Jim makes a pass on Liebert. Unfortunately, I did not catch that. Let's see if Liebert will try to make a move back. These two have been battling all race, both on different strategies as well. Little Jim went hard medium, Liebert went medium hard, but even with the tires and different strategies, the battle has been tight the entire time. El Shakal goes into the pits to come out on the softs, possibly to maybe set a fastest lap. Marshall as well comes out on the softs to see if they can get a fastest lap and hopefully get an extra point if they can make the top 10 also. Lazy but talented at 17 seconds, so that would put him in 10th because El Shakal pit. That pit could have just cost El Shakal points and 2 positions because with time penalties he would be 9th before the pit. It does look as they're coming up on lap traffic. Should not be an issue, but blue flags will be given. Hopefully he does get out of the way of these drivers. We do not want a lap car to affect this epic battle we have had between these two. Liebert does not look to be saving his battery much to possibly save it to get a good run. Oh, he gets squirrely coming out of the corner, loses a couple tenths, but is still in DRS. Little Jim did not get DRS off the lap car as well. It does look like Little Jim in the mediums is handling it well with the 13 laps on him. Liebert on the 14-old hard seems to be getting less traction out of some of the slower corners. Will he be able to make a move on this last lap, though? He has 2 more DRS zones to possibly get it. He has 1 here, and he has a great run. Little Jim is going to hold that inside line, make him go the long way around. But by going the long way around, oh, he dives under, actually. He tries to dive under and get through, but Little Jim stays ahead. But possibly if he could stay tight to the back of that AlphaTauri coming out of this turn, he will get a good DRS run. Let's see. Oh, he loses it. He slips, loses traction, and Liebert loses 3 to 4 tenths just by doing that. Will he be able to get a run coming into the final turn here? No, Little Jim will hold on unless something happens crazy. Oh, Liebert gets sideways. Does he go? He saves it. That was an amazing save. And Little Jim is your winner in the AlphaTauri. Liebert comes in second in the Alfa Romeo. What a battle these two had. We're within a second of each other the entire race. Corey comes in third in the Aston Martin. Mitch coming around in the Alpine for fourth. Short Marcus in the Williams fifth. FTH KRC in sixth. And then DPR Christmas in seventh. Chris, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm going to leave that one alone. Lazy but talented with the penalties drops him to 10th. Cons in 8th. NLD Jansen in 9th. And El Shakal wraps it up in 11th. Our fastest lap is Corey with the 1:30.004. He will get the podium and an extra point. What a race. We had a few incidents, but the top drivers battle. Pending any penalties, after our stewards do reviews, our top 10 would be, let me mention that FTHK RC was our driver of the day, with his strategy being soft to medium. I do believe he came up 8 spots in the end, so that was a great run by him. Alright, pending any penalties, Little Jim is your winner in the AlphaTauri, followed by Liebert in the Alfa Romeo. Corey in the Aston Martin round out your top 3 in your podium. Drink that champagne, guys. Mitch in 4th in the Alpine. Short Marcus in 4th with the Williams. FTH KRC in the Mercedes. In 6th, 7th, DPR Chris in the Alpine. Red Bull in 8th. Cons YouTube. NLD Jansen in the McLaren 9th, and Lazy but Talented wraps out our top 10 in the Ferrari. El Shakal finishes 11th in the Mercedes, and those were our 11 finishers. Marshall 12th, Flames Assassin 13th, Antonis 14th, Mr. James 15th, Mr. Reese 16th, Webby Josh 17th, and Freedom 18th in the McLaren. With this being another great race brought to you by OBF1, we sign off.